wanna grow? Do you wanna ride with me, lady? Do you wanna ride? I feel it in the vibe. Then it's cool, lady.
So today we're here at my home studio looking at some of my keyboards and my computer right here. You can see some of the different applications that I'm using on there. I'll show you a little bit more later. Later on in the video, I'm going to show you how to come up with a basic concept for a song. And then later on, we're going to talk to different musicians and go through the full process of going to the studio, recording stuff, and how you come up with ideas. So before you can really do anything, you have to come up with a different idea. So most of my ideas actually start off on the piano. Let me show you this one that I started right here. This was called Uplifting when we first started, but it goes... basic idea of the song for the chords and the melody and stuff like that, one of the first things I need to do is start laying down some drums. So in this example right here, I have different channels for the drums. I have them all grouped together right here. So I'll go in, you can listen to the bass drum when I play the note on the keyboard. Plays the kick drum. I also have a snare and a few other tom-toms down there. So let me go ahead and play what I have on there. This is just the drums you're hearing right now. Pretty nice little groove, huh? So once you get the drums down the way you like it, you go ahead and map it out for the rest of the song. Put a lot of stuff on there. When you're done with the drums, you move ahead and move to the keyboard and some other sections. Some of the things that I like to use are things called virtual instruments. So on this channel right here, I have a virtual instrument. Let me go ahead and bring it up. So as you can see, it looks like a keyboard, and there's different sounds you have on there. When I play my my instrument, I can actually trigger this keyboard right here to get the sounds off there. So it creates little events in there that give you recording capabilities. And here are some of the different sounds. As you can see, there's a lot of different sounds on there. That's why I like to start off with the piano. You get a little sidetracked on all these other little sounds. So once you put all that together, you have different tracks. You group them together and put them all together. And here's what it sounds like all together. Pretty nice little groove, huh? Hear that little riser? A lot of other little effects in there you hear. I like to put a lot of icing on the cake. I can always remove it later if I need to. So that's what we got here. Let's go ahead and go take it to the studio and bring it to some other musicians, see what they think, see if we can make a song out of this.
Well, when Ron first came with the songs, he brought a wide variety of tapes and CDs, you know, listen to this, listen to that, and I kind of weeded through them. And this track just really stuck out in my mind, and it just had a really good groove and beat to it. It sounded hip, fresh, and so right away he told me the name of the song was Lift Me Up, and I liked that because it had, you know, a positive vibe behind it. And so he sent me the stuff, and right away the hook just kind of came to me. Lift me up, lift me up, lift me up, up, up. That was the thing that kind of just stood out right away in my mind. And then from there, he brought in Day Day, which is an amazing rapper, and he added his own little flavor to it and spiced things up. And you know, he comes from a little more rhythmical background, where I come from, you know, just kind of like a wide variety of soul and various artists that have influenced me, Aretha Franklin, or you know, Linda Ronstadt and Shaka Khan, all the great females. So anyways, all those different flavors, just kind of, we just combined those and collaborated, and this is what we came up with. Lift Me Up, and just want to say thank you, Ron.
Listening to the beat of the song, it's real, up tempo, high energy. I imagine that this would be, a high energy type song, and getting into writing the lyrics for the verses, for my verses. Basically just it's inspired by high energy party scene, club atmosphere type scene where everybody's enjoying themselves in a high energy type setting. And as far as the lyrics are concerned, I write the lyrics, and I tailor them, to all the songs and individually. And I kind of just, write them so that, I touch on generalities, general subjects. I stay real general with it and put lyrics in that people can kind of interpret, to kind of interpret it in their own way, So if I say, like a little bit of dab will do ya, that can interpret it. People can interpret that in different ways, and whatever kind of works for them.
So one of the things I really like collaborating Bridget with is she's really creative. She comes up with really good lines. Let me give you an example. At the end of the song, you hear this part where she holds a note at, and we're in the studio booth. We're like mixing stuff and looking at stuff. We're all talking, and she hits this note and just holds it out, and all of it just kind of drop our jaw. So listen to the end of the song and you'll know what I'm saying. That was great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just was, feeling it.
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah, I like, working with Bridget. It's been real nice. She's definitely a real talented artist. Has a beautiful voice. Heard that right off the bat, and definitely wanted to work with her after hearing her voice. And it was nice, come together with her and hearing her ideas of how she felt that her parts of the song should sound and how she should deliver, her singing. And she's got really, really good attitude, really easy to work with. And it was definitely, a pleasure, working with Bridget.
Hello, my name is James, and I own Bomb Shelter Rehearsal and Recording Studios here in Westminster, California. It's home to a lot of rehearsal bands in Orange County and LA, San Diego, and home as well for a number of recording artists, including Ron Martyn, Day King, who was also on this project with Ron and I. A little something about Ron. He does most of his recording, electronic, keyboard and whatnot, and some guitar stuff at home. Brings me the tracks, and from here we record the vocalists, any other miscellaneous keyboard parts that need to be played, or percussion, whatnot, and then we record the vocals, get them all nice and tidy, and basically from there it's an easy mix for doing this, because generally Ron will have a 2-track mix of his music already in the works, so I just will run the 2-track to get the vocals down, and then we'll kind of assemble the thing as with the 2-track, and then see where else we need to accent from the individual tracks of the drums. Like if it needs more kick, we'll just use the mix track and then add more kick from the kick track, and it's an easy deal, even though it can be very complex with 40 keyboard tracks and another 10 or 15 vocal tracks. But it is what it is. It's a fun little deal to have Ron along with Day and the other singers in the studio. It's a great time.
Yeah, working with with Ron has been really nice. A real creative guy. I love his creativity when it comes to the track itself and the instrumentals that he brings to the table. Especially with this song, inspired me to go high energy with the song and how I was going to deliver the verses and everything. So I can appreciate him for his creativity and in the musical and his musical artistry. And just a really nice guy to work with, easy to talk to and to vibe with and bounce ideas back and forth off. So yeah, I definitely enjoy working with Ron Martyn too. Yeah, James Trace. So I can't say enough about James. I've been working with him for quite a while. Have a background and history of working on my album and certain singles, and his engineering is just top of the line in my opinion. It's easy to work with him. He's always able to vibe off of you. Kind of direct you in certain areas that he may feel that your vocals should go, or even musically too. Sitting down with him at the board and in front of the mix and in front of the song itself, and beginning to cut and paste or figure out what needs to be in there. He's a really, really good creative engineer. I mean, he's got a lot of creativity that he brings to the table, not just plugging things in and cutting and pasting and pushing buttons. I mean, he's a lot more than that when it comes to engineering. So, working with James is always a pleasure. I enjoy it every time.
So one of the things we like to do is come up with different ideas for songs and run it by each other. We have a lot of good stuff coming up. Hopefully it'll turn out good.
Well, I actually think that there's kind of like a little obscure jazz thing that you have going on that I have my eye on, that in your files and files of music that you have tucked away that you've written.
Right.
So I'm pretty interested in that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but it's really great to see like an idea come from just a couple notes on the keyboard,
Mm-hmm.
and then to run it by you, and then sometimes I'll go back and add some more stuff on it. It's not just a straight shot. Sometimes you have to go back and do things back and forth. So that's the fun part. And when you come up with the final video or the final music thing, that's when we have a little shout or say, "Yay, that's great!"
That's true. That's the exciting part.
Yeah, and sharing it with you folks. So anyway,
Thank you, Ron.
yeah, thank you. All right.